Chapter 31 Mask. Elle walked through the forest with Anthea perched on their shoulder directing them home, while kicking their newly found favorite ball as they went. If they had this ball through their whole journey, walking through the woods would have been much more fun. Elle started to think of their adventure over the past few days. They couldn't wait to tell Sam, Mother, and Father everything. They were sure they would be able to out-tell Sam with this one, maybe even able to inspire her next big story. Would Sam even be able to scare Elle with her stories anymore? Elle had experienced such action and adventure that when they thought about the characters and tales Sam had told them in the past, they thought nothing of it. Just thinking about the monsters Sam made up would send shivers down Elle's spine. But now they almost got excited at the thought of getting home and staying up late while Sam told them stories under their bed sheets when they should be asleep.
Elle, I wanted to thank you for letting me take you back home,
Anthea suddenly started to say, slightly startling Elle from breaking the silence. She dug through her bag and took out an object, sprinkling some sort of dust on it. The object instantly grew in size, falling off of Elle's shoulder onto the ground. Elle stopped mid-step to avoid walking on it as their ball rolled away, and bent over to pick it up. It was a mask of what looked like an ant.
I wanted to give you something to remember me by, and what better accessory than a mask to help you tell our story,
she said, blushing slightly. Elle put the mask on and Anthea jumped backwards a few steps.
Whoa! It's a little creepier than I thought it would be,
she said, laughing, and sitting back down on their shoulder.
It's actually made from gingerbread. I wanted to test my baking skills and become the best familiar I can for Aunt Witch. If you bite the left antenna off, it could be Antonio.
The two of them giggled as they walked through the woods. They weren't too far from the edge of the woods that was at the base of the hill Elle lived on. As they got closer, they were able to see the sunlight shining through the trees up ahead. Elle started to walk faster as they got anxious to see their family again. They could have sworn they heard Sam's voice in the distance. Elle picked up the pace to the point that they were almost at a full sprint to the edge of the forest. The closer they got, the more they couldn't wait to see their family once again. Before they knew it, they were approaching the edge and could see the clearing at the base of the hill, just beyond the trees. Elle slowed down and came to a stop, bringing their hand to their shoulder to pick up Anthea and say goodbye. Anthea let out a sigh, looking up at Elle at the verge of crying.
I'm going to miss you, Elle. I haven't had this much fun in a long time,
Anthea said, hugging Elle's thumb as they watched. They both had tears in their eyes, and Elle wished they could give Anthea the biggest hug ever, but with their sighs.
Promise you'll come visit. I'd love to meet your sister,
Anthea said, wiping her eyes. Elle nodded and put Anthea down on the ground, standing there with tears in their eyes.
Go on. Don't keep your family waiting,
Anthea said, sniffling. Elle hesitated, and then headed out with a nod. They walked into the sun and felt its warmth. With the shade of the trees, it had been so long since they had felt the sun directly on their skin. It felt nice. They stood there, soaking in the familiar feeling, when they heard Sam's voice shouting from the top of the hill.
Elle, is that you?
She exclaimed. Elle looked up and saw their big sister standing at the top of the hill. Elle waved with a smile on their face, and Sam took off at full speed towards them down the slope of the hill. They started to walk towards Sam when they remembered Anthea. They turned around for one last look, when they realized there was no way they were going to be able to spot her at such a small size, when they were suddenly tackled to the ground. Sam was tickled to see Elle again, and wouldn't let go of them no matter how much they wiggled and squirmed.
Where have you been? I was so worried about you,
she said, squeezing Elle so hard they were gasping for breath.
Don't worry, I took good care of Mister while you were gone.
Sam finally let go of Elle, and they inhaled deeply when they heard another familiar voice.
Time for dinner.
It was their mother, and Elle couldn't wait to see her again, or father. They both stood up, brushing the grass off of their clothes.
Race you to the top,
Sam declared, taking off. Elle smiled and chased after her, even though they knew they didn't stand a chance. As Elle climbed the hillside, they could smell their aunt's delicious, freshly baked pies. It was good to be home. And that is the end of Inktober, and that is the end of my Inktober story. I can't believe it is finally over. We laughed, we cried, and now it's on to prompts, am I right, guys? So Friday's video, I am going to talk about the art and each individual piece, things that I wish I did, things that I did and why. In Monday's video, I'm going to do sort of a Q&A. I'm going to talk about the story, my process, and the characters. And there will be a blooper reel of some of the goof ups by Drawing with Waffles, Hero of Ink, and of course Dave and I. So if you have any questions about the story or the process or anything like that related to Inktober, I will try to answer as many as I can, but I'll probably end up having to stick to, I guess, the most asked questions. And get your questions in quick because I probably will be recording this on Friday. So in the next few days, think of a question about the story if you have one, and I will answer what I can. Sorry if I can't get to all of them, and sorry if I don't want to answer some of them because I might want some secrets to be left unanswered. Again, thank you so much for the support during Inktober. It was a lot of work, and I learned a lot, and I am so happy that so many of you enjoyed the story. Yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and the end.